Hey study fans, it's Camus and welcome to Chess Beauty 84. At the end of 83 we gave you this position with the stipulation that white must draw. So I'll give you a chance to try and solve it before we discuss the solution, see how you do. Okay, I'm assuming you've looked at it. Well, in this position you can see that white is in big trouble. The rook is on prise. He does have this passed pawn, but the bishop's poised to take it, and the knight is poised to either take it on b7 or blockade, as the case may be. White can take the rook in the corner, but this is not enough. So as you can see, after king to h2, king takes h7, black will be able to stop the pawn, and then there's a theoretical mate with the knight and bishop. Not the easiest mate in the world, but certainly doable. Okay, so in the initial position, obviously king takes rook does not work. In the initial position, the key move is rook to d7. Attacking the knight, getting out of danger, and now black has two pieces on prise, the rook and the knight. And the only way to hang on to everything is to play rook to d2. Knight to e4 doesn't work because king takes h2, bishop to b6, and this is just a book draw. So back after rook to d7, as I said, black must play rook to d2, and now we utilize our passed pawn, play b7. And now black has a couple of tries here. Well, none of them work, but let's look at the non-mainline tries. We have bishop to a7, trying to stop that pawn, which is threatening the queen next move. But rook to d8 check, king to f7, queen, we take, and then after rook takes bishop, we have another book draw. So after b7, he can also try knight takes b7, but we don't take the rook, which will lead to bishop takes rook, and then that same bishop and knight versus king, which loses for white. But instead, after knight takes b7, we simply take the knight, and it's another book draw. So after b7, the only reasonable try for black is knight to e4 check. And now we play not king to h3, because after bishop to f4, stopping the pawn queening, and rook takes rook, knight takes rook, and we'll stop the pawn and checkmate the white king. So after knight to e4 check, white must play king to f3, and now we're attacking, essentially we're attacking three pieces, because if that bishop is taken, then the rook is on prise. So we're attacking the bishop and the knight with the king. So it's a very aggressive move, and black thinks he has a solution in bishop to a7, but we don't, because we queen, we must take the queen, and now rook to b7. If we took the rook in this position instead of rook to b7, again we would get that same knight and bishop versus king, which loses. So after rook to b7, black's only hope is knight to g5 check. We continue to attack the piece, king to g4. If we can win one of these pieces, it'll just be a draw. Rook to g2, trying to hang on to its material. King to f5. And now the bishop is on prise and needs to do something about it. Well, he can't move to c7. He can't move to e5 or f4. And he can't move to g3 because that blocks the defense of the knight. So he can only go to bishop to d6. He can go to h2, and I won't show that line because it's essentially similar to the main line. And once you see the main line, you'll understand it doesn't make any difference. So bishop to d6. And now this key move from white. See if you can find it if you haven't gotten this far. Yes, rook to g7 check. And basically king takes g7 is forced, and we have a stalemate. Going back after rook to g7 check, If he does something like king to f8, then we just simply take the knight and we've got another book draw. This is a very nice endgame study from Herman Mattison from 1918. And Mattison is a Latvian chess player and one of the world's most highly regarded chess masters in the 30s. He's also the leading composer of endgame studies. Unfortunately, he died of tuberculosis at the age of 38. He won the first Latvian chess championship in 1924. Later that year, he finished ahead of Max Oive and Edgard Colley to win the first World Amateur Championship. He played first board for Latvia in the 1931 Chess Olympiad in Prague and defeated Rubinstein and Alekhine, the world champion at the time. So he was not a man to be trifled with. Anyway, let's move ahead to Chess Beauty 85, and that features this position. A little messy, but I think it's worth it. I should mention, by way of a very vague clue, that this was another entry of that humor tournament that I've featured in the past. And so look for a humorous solution. The stipulation is white to draw, which you can see is going to be tough considering his huge material deficit. Okay, good luck with it, and we'll see you on the next Chess Beauty. Thanks for watching.